Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and the other day, the Bricklink Designer Program team just revealed the Series 7 finalists, and so really quick, I want to just take the time to go through each of those 5 submissions, and I want to show you guys what exactly they are, and how many minifigures they're going to have, and the part count, or expected part count, and each of those little details. This video is designed to just kind of be an overview of each of the 5 models. Obviously, there is a lot of time in between now and the crowdfunding stages, so there is going to be probably some changes to some of these models here. And also the prices have not been announced yet. That won't happen for some time. And so with that being said, today is just kind of going to be an overview of each of these 5 models, and I want to take you guys through them just because they got unveiled. And so without me talking too much, we're just going to jump right in. So for those of you not familiar with the Bricklink Designer Program, essentially what it is anyone can submit designs to the series, and then they have a voting period in which everyone can vote for which of these sets they want to be a finalist, and then the Bricklink Designer Program team comes together and figures out which sets are going to be part of the series. And this time around, it is 5 sets here, which is the Privateer Frigate Fortuna, W.A.L.T the Little Robot, the Sushi Restaurant, Alchemist's Shop, and the Antique Collection. We're going to go through each of these, starting with the smallest one, the Little Robot. And also just keep in mind that everything is pretty much subject to change with this. Most of the design will remain the same, but the number of pieces could change as well. And so this set here has 156 unique pieces and 663 total pieces. There's no stickers, but you can get some pretty expressive faces with this model here, just using some pieces that I assume are included with the set here. So that is nice to see, but there's not a lot going on with this. It is over 8 inches tall, and it has 17 points of articulation, including the neck, shoulders, wrists, fingers, hips, and the ankles. And so that allows for some pretty dynamic poses, which you can see throughout some of these pictures here. Now, this set is really nice for the fact that it is so small. Most of these Bricklink Designer Program sets, like you guys just saw with the Series 4, the cheapest set in that wave was, I believe, $170 US. Whereas this one has only 600 pieces, 660 pieces, and so it could be as low as $60 US. They won't announce the prices, I think, until January of 2026, which is a ways away, but we can kind of start to speculate how much it's going to cost just based on the number of pieces, the fact that there's 0 minifigures, there's 0 stickers, and it's pretty basic. There's only 156 unique pieces here, and it's something different. I think it's pretty cool, but I feel like there could be more with it. I wish there was a little bit more going on with it. I think the concept is cool, but I just feel like that there's something missing from the set overall. All right, so the next set that is in going from smallest to largest is the Antique Collection. This one has 313 unique pieces and 1,471 total pieces in this model here. Again, just based on the submission that was submitted to the program, this is subject to change, but around 1,500 pieces, let's say. And I like the design of this, and I think it's going to be bigger than I'm expecting here, because you can actually see that the chair in the little table here are much bigger than minifigure scale. And so I think this is actually going to end up being a lot larger than I'm expecting here. And you can even see that there's full minifigures in this cabinet here, and it is full of all different kinds of things, which is really nice to see. There's even a goat in the back there. I don't know if you guys can see that on the top shelf. That's a nice touch. But then again, as nice as this is, I don't know who this is for, to be honest with you. Like, my main concern with it would be actually reaching that 3,000 order threshold in order to actually get it produced into a set. Most of the time, I've never even had to question that. You know, most of the time, the sets are just kind of a given that they'll reach the 3,000. They seem popular enough. And obviously, this one is popular. It made it into the top 5 here for Series 7. But I don't know. This is definitely not for me. I think it's cool, but it just leaves a little bit more to be desired for me personally. And the description of it did not include the dimensions of it. But then again, I do think it is going to be bigger than I'm expecting here, which is nice to see. But I guess we'll see once the LEGO Ambassador Network gets these sets early. All right, so the third set here, which is also the medium-sized model here, is the Alchemist shop here, and it has 2,126 total pieces, 556 unique pieces, and 1 sticker. I am actually curious to see what this 1 sticker is because I haven't really taken a look at this quite yet here. But I love this. I think this looks great. I think this is something that would pair really nicely to the medieval blacksmith. I think that would be really, really cool. The number of figures here are actually decent as well. And with 200 pieces, or 2,000 pieces, excuse me, I would expect Bricklink, just based on the previous waves of sets, I would expect them to price it at around $200. If it's anything more than that, I wouldn't think that that's a worthy price for it. But I do think that this looks really good, and the medieval blacksmith retailed for $180 before it retired, and so I think these would be a really nice complement if you have the medieval blacksmith already in your collection, because it retired some time ago. But then again, the price is going to be the determining factor for me. I think this is a beautiful thing, but if it's anything over 200, I might have to pass on it. I'm really happy to see this become one of the finalists, though. This is a beautiful model, and I really like the tree on it. I like the carriage. I think that's a really nice detail as well, and the minifigure selection seems pretty decent as well, like I said. But overall, I think this is a good mid-size set for this entire wave here. All right, so the second to largest model here is actually the Sushi Restaurant. We are jumping up from just over 2,000 pieces to over 3,400 total pieces and 718 unique pieces with a whopping 25 stickers. That is a lot, and you can start to see some of those stickered elements here just on this preliminary picture. And then as you go through the pictures, you will start to see more and more of that as well. I think this looks really good. Obviously, the Bricklink Designer Program has changed some of their criteria over the last couple waves, and so you can't make a standard modular building anymore. You can't have it on a base plate. You can't have the Technic pin connections on the sides. So unfortunately, this would not directly fit into a regular city layout, but you could definitely modify this into fitting into something like that. And I think that would not be too hard to do. To be honest with you, I think this looks really good. The tram and the train track segment looks fantastic to me. I think that's really, really cool. It's a nice touch. The tram is obviously very small, but I think what is there is very, very nice and detailed. And oddly enough, this actually comes apart in half. So you kind of just cut it down the middle like a slice of cake. And you can see one half of the building here, which has 3 different levels to it and some really nice interior details. And then the other half also has some interior details, as well as that spot where you can sit outside and enjoy the little fountain there, and also the trees and the nature. I think this looks really, really good, but my only concern with it would be the price. Again, 3,400 pieces with this, and that is quite a steep number of pieces considering the minimum for the Bricklink Designer Program you can have is 400 pieces, and the maximum you can have is 4,000, which we'll talk about in just a second here. But 3,400 pieces and 7 minifigures, I think it looks beautiful, but if this is going to end up being around that 10 cents per piece mark or even a little bit less, $300 for this seems like quite a lot. So if this sushi restaurant is something that you are extremely interested in and you can't wait for Series 7 to drop, then definitely brace yourself for just how much this is going to end up costing, because I really like the look of it, but unfortunately, it is just going to be quite a lot of money. One cool feature of this, though, is that since it slices in half like a piece of cake and the train track segments are removable, what you can do is actually configure this in different ways. So you can have it back to back, like the main picture showed us, or you can have 2 of these layouts like you're looking at right now. You can have the train tracks on either side and then the buildings kind of next to each other like a dollhouse, or you can put the train tracks in the middle and then keep the buildings in the same configuration. So I think that's really cool, but 25 stickers is pretty steep, and also the number of pieces is relatively high as well. But there is one more set that is even bigger than this. And that, of course, is the Privateer Frigate Fortuna. This set here is the absolute maximum size that the Bricklink Designer Program allows. It has 4,000 exact pieces and 663 unique pieces and 1 sticker. Funny enough, 663 unique pieces in this model, whereas the robot, the tiny little robot that we checked out first, has 663 total pieces. But again, all of this is subject to change here. and it also comes with 12 minifigures and a whopping 20 cannons as well. And the length, width, and height of it is 32 inches, 11.5 inches, and 24 inches respectively, which is pretty crazy to think about. This is brick built from start to finish. There are no pre-molded hull pieces. There are no pre-molded mast pieces, it looks like. And this looks like a fantastic building experience, but I could easily see this costing $350 or even more than that. And as nice as this is, that is a crazy high price for a boat. And I'm sure there are a lot of pirate fans or a lot of boat fans in general that would love to pay that price, and just because it looks so good. But there is a rumored Black Pearl coming out later this year. Again, that is still a rumor. I don't have any insider information, but I think that would be just a fraction of the price that this would be. It does also appear that this model only has brick-built sails and not the cloth ones, which is really unfortunate to see, actually. I think this type of model having cloth sails would really just give it that extra mile, and I think that would really sell it a little bit better, because as it is, the brick-built sails, I don't believe that they would be able to be changed into the actual down position. Instead, they're just depicted as rolled up. So that's kind of unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen the cloth sails, especially for a model of this size and this level of detail. And so with that, I think it is a beautiful model, but it's just a little too much almost. I think brick building everything is really nice in theory, but that jacks up the price where it doesn't necessarily need to. And so with that, each of these 7 sets can be crowdfunded on February 1st, 2026. Yes, that is quite a ways away. That is almost a year out. However, the prices for this and the final designs will get revealed about a month before that. So you can expect to see that late December, early January, somewhere around there. But the title of the video was not clickbait. I do really think that some of these sets are strong in their own right. But as a wave of sets for the Bricklink Designer Program, I think this is kind of weak. I am not overly partial to Castle, but I do think the Alchemist shop would fit right in with that stuff, and I think it would look really, really good. But the antique collection, I just don't see that looking good in my personal collection. And personally, it leaves me wondering who exactly that is for. Obviously, there is a demand for it. It got voted into the top 5, but personally, I just can't see the value in it. And it's not to say it's a bad set, it's just not for me. And then the robot, again, I think it looks really good and what's there is nice, but it leaves a little bit to be desired. Now, with that being said, though, I think despite this being one of the weaker waves that the Bricklink Designer Program has had, I think the different sizes of sets is its strongest quality here. You have sets that have less than 700 pieces, and you have sets pushing that 3,000 to 4,000 piece range. And so with that, you will expect to see a variety of prices as well. And so if you want to get into the Bricklink Designer Program, but you don't want to break the bank, maybe that little robot or maybe even the antique collection would be for you. 660 pieces and about 1,400 pieces for each of those is not going to be overly expensive, hopefully, at least. And the Alchemist shop will probably be split right down the middle in between the inexpensive and, relatively speaking, inexpensive, and the very expensive sets like the Sushi Restaurant and the Privateer Frigate Fortuna. And so, like I said, the different sizes of sets is really nice, but I don't think as a collective wave, this is going to perform as well as the other sets in previous waves, like how we saw in just recently with the Series 4. 2 of the sets completely sold out, and the Wild West train was close, and then the other 2 sets had about, I believe, anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 units sold. And so with that, I don't expect many of these sets to sell out. I think the Alchemist shop has potential to, and also the Sushi Restaurant. The little robot probably will, just because I'm expecting it to be so inexpensive. But the Privateer Frigate Fortuna, I highly doubt it's going to sell out because it's going to be so expensive. And also the Sushi Restaurant, as nice as it is, I can't see it selling out just because it has over 3,400 pieces, and it's going to be a pretty penny once the prices are revealed for it. But with that being said, I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at this in case you haven't seen these yet. These 5 sets were just revealed the other day here. But with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I would be really curious to hear which ones you guys like, which ones you don't, and which ones you will be considering picking up next year. Personally, overall, I think this wave is a bit of a disappointment. I do like the Alchemist shop, but overall, I don't think any of these sets are really appealing to me other than the Alchemist shop, but that is entirely dependent on its price, which again, we won't know until much later down the line. But these other 4 sets, as nice as some of these are, they are just not for me, and both regarding the price and also just the subject matter as a whole. But I hope some of you guys find value not only in this video, but also in these sets here. That's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on which ones you like and which ones you don't, make sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think. And also if you like this style of video and if it was informative to you. But seriously, once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.